Hi, my name is Ms. Smith. Today I will be sharing with you my thoughts, design process, and fabrication of my mask project. When I first thought about the More Than a Mask project, I was so excited. I couldn't wait to get the ball rolling and see designs and masks come flying in. Then I took a step back and said, wait, they should probably learn the basics first. For instance, how do I choose a design or theme? How do I sew? Where do I start? So, with a deep breath, we began. When creating or choosing a mask design, or in my case fabric, I tend to choose things that I have interest in and how it lays out on the fabric. So these are some of the choices I came up for my wearers. I say if I am not going to wear it, why would they? Okay. So I have Nightmare Before Christmas. For those of you that know me, it is one of my favorite movies. Pretty much anything Tim Burton is. So I also have Alice in Wonderland. Coco, my Hispanic heritage, and I thought the movie did a great job in reflecting the heritage. I also have some that are a little deeper, which like the rainbows and rain. For me, it's more of an emotional type mask. You can't have rainbows without a little rain, and that keeps things in perspective for me. You can't have the good without the bad sort of situation. So those are a few that I have chosen, but I have tons more in my little stash of fabric that I use. So from here, I began the process on learning and creating my mask. From learning what measurements to use for my template and how to lay it out so I get the most use of the fabric that is given to me. From there, I cut out my pieces for my front, my back, and the liner, if I choose to have a liner. Most of the time I use filters, so I have a filter pocket that I just slide one in. I began the process in sewing. Of course, I had to practice my back stitch first, but nowadays I tend to use a sewing machine. It goes a little faster for me. I kind of hash these out really quick for others. I start with my front piece, then added the liner onto that. Then I sewed my back piece and added a nose pocket because I rather get a lot of use out of my nose rods rather than throwing them out after every use. In theater, you learn to be thrifty and reuse things if you can. From here, I placed out my front side with my pattern facing me, and then laid my outer piece with my nose pocket facing in on top of my pattern. We call this pretty side meets pretty side. After these are sewn together at the top and bottom, I was able to flip my mask inside out, kind of like a pair of socks or a pillowcase. This is how all stuffed animals and such are made, so you don't see the seams. For an added element, I use rubber stoppers once I added my straps, but I am still able to tie them behind my ears or behind my head, um, whichever I feel like having that day. I like to have options. I also added a final stitch to the top and bottom of my mask so it holds the shape better, and poof, all done. I'm not going to say it was easy at first. There was a lot of trial and error, from template designs to type of fabric to use, how to lay out the fabric so the grains were used correctly so they wouldn't come apart when you wash them, and what size stitches to use. I also tried different types of straps. I found the cotton type, elastic cotton type were better. The regular elastic tend to hurt the top of my ears, which is why I normally wear mine behind my head now. But with the cotton fabric ones, I can wear them either way. After I learned what strap to use, I decided that I don't like the top or the metal to show on my mask. I think it takes away from it. Not only that, you know, when you place them on the outside of your mask, you tend to have to take them off and then throw them away because that glue only stays good for a little while. So I wanted to add a nose pocket. I think that was maybe the hardest thing for me, was figuring out how to actually embed it onto my mask so others couldn't see it, so the nose rod wouldn't just go straight across but actually stay in the arc shape. Um, so I tried many different things and finally came out with something that worked for me and I think is pretty easy to apply to a mask. Still takes some time. Actually, that takes the longest time, I think, is the nose pockets for out of every part of the actual mask uh, fabrication. But all in all, I'm happy with my products. My suggestion to others is to take your time in anything, any type of planning you are doing with any design work or sewing for costumes or fashion in general, anything that you want to make. Take your time, plan every step out so you don't miss anything. Mark off as you go down and pay attention to the details. Sometimes little things can mess it up, but it's all a learning process, which is why I love it. So that in a nutshell is my More Than a Mask project. Thank you for watching.